it going, guys? Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Today, second week of Fraternity 101. I'm glad to see you all back. Today, we're talking about bystander intervention, hazing, some really important topics. As fraternity men next year, you will all experience these, indirectly or directly, hopefully indirectly, but this is here to give you an idea of how to handle such situations. So today we have a bunch of guest speakers, and first up we have two lovely people from Speak Up Bucknell here for you. So let's give them a round of applause.
Alright, so we are from Speak Up Bucknell. I'm Will. I'm in a fraternity. I'm the captain and president of the club rugby team. I'm a computer engineer, junior. I do this, some other things.
Go ahead, brag about it. I'm Kate. I'm a sophomore. I'm an IR Spanish major. I'm a coxswain on the crew team. I do this. I'm in dance showcase with the Irish dance group, which you all should come see because it's going to be great. And I'm in Speak Up, obviously.
Alright, so this is the third time we've done this, and the first time was awful, and the second time was a bit better. So you guys are having a competition to be the least shitty group. So keep that in mind. We'll get started. So you guys all got the Speak Up presentation before in the fall, and then a refresher. What was it about? Anyone? Yeah.
The bystander effect.
Sorry?
Bystander effect.
Bystander, yep. Good. What else? I'll wait. Fine. What was the question? What was Speak Up about? When you got the presentation in the fall? What do you remember from it? Anything you remember? Yeah.
Sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment. All right. What else? Yeah.
Rape culture.
Rape culture. Good. A couple more things. Yeah.
Victim blaming.
Victim blaming. Anything else? Yeah.
Date rape.
Date rape. All right. It's a good one. We're going to wait for two more, and then we'll keep going. You guys are losing the competition, Terry. Anything you remember?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Something about drinking. Okay. Not bad. Take it. One more thing. We got one more. Saving it. All the different times that you can stop rape. All right. That's a good segue into what we're doing next. Last time we had a story. You guys remember it? There was like a white slide, a whole bunch of pictures went up on it. We talked about all the different times you could intervene. We're going to sort of do that with a video this time. This is a video. It's from New Zealand. Called Who Are You? It's pretty good. Watch it, pay attention, and then we're going to talk about it real quick.
The bartender, the stranger, etc.
Sexual assaults are happening to young women and men, and one more is too many. Visit whoareyou.co.nz for contact details, help and support. You can be the difference in how the story ends.
Emily! Thanks for bringing it home. Where are you staying tonight?
I was just going to stay here.
Sweet, I'll get your blanket for the couch.
That in. Okay? You need a taxi? Oh, let's go.
Two double rum and coke here, 2 shots of vodka.
So how's your night? Yeah, I'm alright.
Alright.
Who are you here with? Laura, Marcia, and me.
Sorry. Excuse me.
You okay? No, I'm good. Thanks, man. See ya.
Alright, before we talk about the video, I'm going to ask you another question. Who wants to get out of here as fast as possible? Okay, great. So, in order to do that, you're going to have to pay attention, you're going to have to talk to me. I don't really care if you hate me or not, but you're going to have to talk to me, and then you can move on and you can get out of here. Alright, so, who thinks the video is realistic? Raise your hands. Alright, the majority of us think it's realistic. Why? Someone. Back corner.
Because in certain situations, there are many people that can stop or commemorate.
There are a lot of different people who can intervene. Good reason. Why else? Yeah.
Because the situation isn't like an uncommon event, like people go out and party all the time.
Situation's not uncommon, happens at a bar, people go out and party. Good. What else?
It wasn't like a rape in the classical sense. It was more just like a very intoxicated.
Very dark skin. It wasn't somebody jumping out of the bushes. It was somebody she met. It was an acquaintance. Things like that. What else? Yeah.
There's a lot of instances for people to step in, and a lot of times people don't.
There's a lot of instances for people to step in. All right. Do you guys think that the way people spoke up and intervened was realistic? Does that seem like something that you could do? Raise your hand. Yes or no? Raise your hand. Yes. We all think that's something we can do. All right. Are there any of them that you disagree with? Anything you think should have been done differently? Anyone? Yeah.
You probably shouldn't have let the guys go pregame.
So sorry?
They let the guy into the pregame and they didn't know who he was.
He was a friend, technically. Like, he was supposed to be like the friend of one of them.
I think it was like a friend of a friend. But that's a good point. Yeah, that's good. Keep strange people out of your parties. It's always a good thought. Yeah.
They let the flatmate let the guy stay at their house overnight.
All right, that's good. Can anybody think of why she might have done that? Yeah.
So he didn't try and drive himself home or anything like that.
All right, that's a good reason. So we didn't try to drive himself home. Anybody else? Yeah.
She knew he didn't really want to stay, so he'd leave.
Sorry?
She knew he didn't really want to stay. If he
Oh,
had to
yeah, so
sleep
she
on
could
the
offer
couch.
it and then he'd just leave.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Anybody else? Part of it would have been to avoid confrontation, so it's really actually pretty difficult to kick somebody out of like a house or somewhere. So just sort of giving them the option to stay sort of avoids confrontation, keeps things more even-keeled. What else? Just somebody raise their hand over here.
Yeah, someone had it.
Yeah.
So a random stranger just wrote that like Emily dude me up? Or was it a random stranger? Did he know Emily when he was waiting in the club line to break
Yeah,
up?
that was a random stranger. He did not know Emily.
And that seemed kind of unrealistic because like who is he to judge? I know it's the right thing to do, but who is he to judge like that relationship or what was happening there? He might have been a boyfriend girlfriend.
Good question. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys have, in that situation, if you were standing in line to get to a register, and you see a girl just like stumbling, can't really hold herself up, and a guy is leading her out of the party at, register on a Friday night, are you guys going to say anything? Or you're going to watch it happen? Who's going to say something? All right, we got a lot of honest people. Why are you not going to say something? Yeah.
A lot of it depends on the situation. Like, it's kind of hard to say, like, just take on an example like that, like, what the dynamic is.
What do you use to decide?
I guess, like, how the girls.
All right. That's a good one. Anybody else? All right, pose a different question. So, say you see somebody being led out of a party and they're clearly intoxicated, and you speak up and you say something, and it turns out that the people are dating. What's going to happen then? Something bad going to happen then? Probably not, no. So that's kind of the point that I want to bring up, is that people always worry about being like a cock block or, preventing two people from hooking up or something. It's like, if both people want to hook up with the other person and they're leaving a party, and you're like, hey, how are you guys doing? You're not going to stop them. But if somebody doesn't want it and you speak up in that situation, you're possibly preventing sexual assault. So there's really no harm in checking in a situation, even if you don't know exactly what the dynamic is, because if everything is fine, then everything's going to continue to be fine. And if it's not, then you've done a good thing, spoken up, did your part. What else am I talking about? Did the guy in the black shirt, did his reactions seem normal? Like, do you think that's how somebody would react? Raise your hand, yes or no. Do you think that's how somebody would react in that situation? Not very many people do. Why do you think it's unrealistic? Anyone? Yeah.
I think the last, like, when the flatmate stepped in was unrealistic. I think he would be much more angry if he was that drunk. I think the bartender one was realistic, though, because he is like and also the one where the stranger pointed him out and sent, like, the bouncer out, because those are two people in, like, an employed position whose jobs it is sort of make sure that you don't, like, do anything wrong like that. So I think those two were realistic.
So who thinks that he would have been more confrontational in general? All right, how do you deal with that? Anyone? Yeah. Kick him out? All right, but he's really confrontational. What are you going to do? He was taller than you. How are you going to deal with that? Yeah. Get other people to help you out. It's not a bad one. What else? What did all the people in the video do? Did they talk to the guy? They talked to the girl. So they sort of prevented any confrontation by helping the girl out instead of trying to judge the guy and attack him. You don't have to step into a situation and be like, hey, everybody, get the hell out of here. You're doing something wrong. Like, piss off. You can just go in and help the person instead of being confrontational. But getting more people is a good idea. If you get a whole bunch of people together, it's a lot less likely that they're going to try and be confrontational because there's a lot of you and only one of them. Anybody have anything else want to say, ask? No, go on, leave. So we showed this slide in the first one. We like this slide, read it. What I'm going to highlight, call public safety. I was risk manager for my fraternity. I've dealt with public safety. I've dealt with police. I've dealt with a number of different entities. Public safety is here to help campus. They care about the safety of campus. Bucknell has officially an amnesty policy. So if you call and you're drunk, they're not going to get you in trouble. And also if you call and like, hey, I think somebody's being sexually assaulted in this room. And just like, yeah, I'll stay here to point you to the room. And they show up, public safety's going to be like, hold on, you're drunk. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to show up, they're going to solve the problem. If there's no problem, they'll leave. They really care about the safety of campus. That's what they're there for. We call them public safety or the councils of campus. Who's heard about the Steubenville rape case? A couple people. All right. Basically, I'm just using this slide to highlight rape culture, which was mentioned earlier. Who thinks that we live in a rape culture? Right, we have a lot of honest people. Glad you're being honest. So this is a female anchor on CNN who said this, basically that she felt bad for the perpetrators of this assault because they watched their lives fall apart when they were sentenced. So from Poppy's quote, who thinks that what these guys did must have been terrible? Pretty much nobody, right? It seems like they probably was mundane. There was like a little bit of a misunderstanding. They didn't really know what was going on. What happened in this situation? It was a high school party night. There was a 16-year-old girl, two 16-year-old boys. The girl became incapacitated. The boys they were at a party. Boys took her clothes off. They penetrated her with their fingers. They attempted to penetrate her orally, but they couldn't because she was too drunk. The people standing by did not speak up. They did not say anything. They took pictures with their phone. They tweeted about it. They took videos, and they laughed. They then redressed her and put her in a vehicle and drove her around to other parties that same night and did the same thing at other parties pretty much as a show. Undressing an incapacitated 16-year-old girl while groups of people took pictures of them violating her. And that was the reaction to it from the public. I feel sorry for the boys. That's the culture that exists. That's a culture that specifically women, there are men who suffer from sexual assault, specifically survivors, live in. Victim blaming, perpetrator supporting, rape culture. If you don't think it exists, it's right there. Seriously, go home and Google the Steubenville rape case. It'll make you feel sick to your stomach. So this is why we're talking to you guys. This is why it's important. You'll see this in your fraternity. I see it in my fraternity. I see it at other fraternities. You see it downtown. You see it at sports teams' houses. It doesn't matter where you are. You're going to see things like this. You're going to see people who are too drunk. You're going to see victim blaming. You're going to hear about it. Just speak up. Just say something. You're not going to get it every time. That's fine. Just try and do better. That's really all we're asking. Thank you guys for being here. It was slow in the beginning, but we picked up, stuck with it. If you want to apply to be a peer educator, talk to one of them because we have to leave and go give a presentation. But my email, I'm Will Evans. You can email the Speak Up Peers at bucknell.edu. She's Katie. Hikus. I don't know her. Yeah, it's not that much work. It's a lot of good stuff. Thank you guys. We put these resources up here. Have a good evening. Spencer, thank you.
All right, guys. Next up, you met him last week. Nate Gleason, he's our Gamma Chair. He has a couple words that he's going to share with you guys.
All right, gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get a little reaction out of you guys. We can get you guys out of here a little bit quicker. I remember I went through this last year. So you're all here because you're thinking about joining a fraternity. I'm sure you all have your own ideas of what the fraternity community looks like. I know I did last year. Last year I thought fraternities were just about the social life. I remember asking myself, when I was in your exact position, why do I have to go to Fraternity 101? I've already seen everything that there is to know. It's just the social life. There's no point in me being there. The truth is, what I thought I had known is actually only the social side. There's much more to being a part of a fraternity than just the social side. Sure, there's the social side of your membership. You're going to have friends with you in your fraternity. They're going to be brothers, and your friends are social, because who you're hanging out with right now, obviously, you've met them socially. So you're going to have a social life. However, one of the things that we don't advertise enough is that when you accept the bid to the fraternity, you're making a commitment to their ideals and values. But more importantly, you are accepting to become a brother. A fraternity is not just something you do during college. It's a group of guys that will be your best friends for the rest of your life. Take a second, think about that. These are the guys that will be with you at your birthdays when you turn 21, your weddings, your reunions, okay? That's big. When you choose to join a fraternity, you're choosing who are going to be some of your best friends. This is important to think about because these gentlemen will be your brothers for the rest of your life. These guys will be your closest friends for the next 3 years. You're going to spend a lot of time with them. You're going to be eating the majority of your meals with them. You'll be spending your free time with them. These will be friends that you need to turn to when you have challenges in your life. Be careful about being swept up during rush. Stop, take some time, think about what it is that you are actually looking for in a fraternity. Join a fraternity where you will feel like a brother, not just a number. You need to be at a place where all of your brothers will have your back no matter what, and you feel like they have your back. Trusting your brothers is an essential part of joining a fraternity. These brothers will be your best friends, whether they are in your class grades or grades older and what will be younger than you. There are people in this room, guys that you might not even be friends with yet, that in 3 years when you graduate will be the ones you are celebrating with. There are people here that you may not know that will turn out to be your best friend. I know I had a kid last year that I prejudged, didn't like him. I thought he was horrible. He ended up joining the same fraternity, now he's one of my best friends. Join a fraternity in which you feel valued for who you are and what you can bring to the chapter. Does the fraternity have the same ideals you do? Will you be able to come back in 30 years after graduation and be able to hang out with the guys in your class? Are they the type of guys you're going to want to spend large amounts of time with? Are you at a place where you feel comfortable saying no under pressure? At the end of the day, the parties can go away. No matter what fraternity you join, the parties can go away. And when that happens, are these the guys that you're still going to want to be around? These questions, especially the last ones, are the ones you should be asking yourself as you go through the process this fall. Meet the brothers and think about where you will fit in. For everyone here, that's going to be a different fit. The formal recruitment process forces you to ask yourself a number of these questions. I say formal because there are times when fraternities choose to dirty rush potential new members outside of the formal recruitment process. A few examples of dirty rushing includes bartending for date parties or mixers, driving for fraternity brothers, and being asked to drink with brothers. A fraternity found in violation of the IFC recruitment rules, including but not limited to participating in dirty rushing and violating the DRIVE policy, which is in effect between now and the end of the formal recruitment in the fall, can be brought before IFC to face sanctions that might include losing eligibility to have a pledge class. You, as a potential new member, face being expelled from the process altogether. At any time, if you are asked to participate in any such event, do not be afraid to decline. If a fraternity truly wants you as a brother for life, then they would respect your decision to not participate and not hold it against you. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to reach out to either myself. I'm Nate Gleason, I'm the Gamma Chair, which again is Greeks advocating for mature management of alcohol, or Spencer with any questions that you have for either of us. Thank you.
You know, Nate's story really reminds me of an experience I've had myself. You don't think about it, but this past year, I met some alum from my fraternity from 1993. They got together every single year and came back to Bucknell. That's something really special that you might not think about when you're choosing a fraternity, but it's something you should be, because it's really big. It's awesome to think about that you make the friends for the rest of your life. All right, but now after that, we're going to talk a little bit about hazing, favorite topic. All right, so you all have index cards. Most of you have pencils. Take a couple minutes, get together, talk at your tables, figure out what hazing is, and think of some examples about it.
There also are like few like depending on the level, depending on how bad it is. Some of it's just like
all right, guys.
Silly.
Talk a little bit. Let's hear what you got for what do you think hazing is? Just like with Speak Up. Get participation. Get out of here soon. Yeah, right here. Who else?
What's up?
Say that again.
Something that humiliates or degrades someone so that they can get.
Yeah, definitely. Those are both great examples or great definitions for hazing. This is what Bucknell defines hazing as. Not going to read it to you. Y'all could take a second to read it. Now that's Bucknell's definition, and of course they also follow Pennsylvania's definition, which is right here. Again, not going to read it to you. Take a second. Read it over. And yes, there is more to this definition. So between those two definitions, it's pretty all-encompassing. It pretty much covers anything you could think of. But when we think of hazing, we think of it in three different senses. We have violent hazing, harassment hazing, and subtle hazing. Violent hazing, anything that causes physical or emotional harm. Harassment hazing, anything that causes mental anguish or physical discomfort. And subtle hazing, an activity, action, or attitude directed toward a new member which ridicules, humiliates, and embarrasses. So you all had examples. I know you got some good ones out there. Let's hear some violent hazing ones. They're right here.
The worst one I heard was at I don't know what I said. Well, whatever, at USC, the pledge class had to go to the into a basement. They locked the door, and the member said, by the end of this, one person arm has to be broken.
Yeah, that's pretty violent hazing, if I had to say so myself. That's a textbook example. What else do we got? I'll start calling on people if we don't get volunteers. Yeah, here we go. Branding, absolutely. What else? All right, I'm going to call on somebody. Front right here.
I don't remember the name of the school, but there's some school where they forced the pledge class to funnel.
What was that?
To funnel.
All right, yeah, that's definitely hazing. That's definitely violent hazing. So now let's look at some harassment hazing. What do we got? Anything that causes mental anguish or physical discomfort. Yeah.
Pledge class let their pet hedgehog die, so they had to eat it.
That might be more violent hazing, but yeah, it's definitely hazing. What else we got? Yeah.
At George Mason University, the pledge class had the elephant walk down the highway.
Yeah, again, another violent hazing example here. So I'm getting you guys pretty much have violent hazing on lock. You guys understand that pretty well. All right, we got one more.
Mental anguish and emotional harm.
I think just level of severity. We're going to go into through examples in a second, but I just want to see what you guys thought. Then if you have subtle hazing, let's see what we got for subtle hazing. Total chug of beer. That's actually more violent hazing, I believe. Let's check it out. Violent hazing, forced consumption or ingestion of any substance, so that'd be forced chug of beer. Sexual violation or unwarranted touching of the body. Throwing or squirting anything at or on a new member. Yes, squirting, I know. Tests of courage, bravery, stamina, physical or mental shocks, creation of excessive fatigue, and any form of forced physical activities. So you guys, from your examples you gave me, you got this pretty much on lock. You guys definitely know violent hazing. Harassment hazing, things like verbal abuse, requiring members to wear unusual, conspicuous, embarrassing, or uncomfortable clothing, nudity at any time, requiring new members to enter through different entrances. This includes if you couldn't come through the front door, you'd have to come through a window or side door like that. Requiring members to perform activities such as carrying books, running errands, performing maid duties, and late night food runs. All that stuff considered harassment hazing. And finally, we got subtle hazing. New members expected to do anything for the entertainment of initiated members, calling new members demeaning names, requiring that members be called things such as Mr. and Brother, scavenger hunt, phone duties, or house duties if only assigned to new members, and requiring new members to carry something at all times, such as like a backpack, fanny pack full of items. Something I want to touch on is house duties or phone duties. That's only hazing if it's just for new members. If the whole fraternity is getting together and say, hey, let's clean the house, it looks like hell. That's not hazing. That's everyone just coming together, doing their brotherly part. So that's not something you want to confuse. All right. All right, next after this, we actually have a video that I want to show you guys, the subtle harms of hazing.
For those of you in the room who know me personally, you know that I like to stir up discussion. It's kind of my trademark. I can whip up a controversial discussion faster than just about anyone else I know. I love it even better when that discussion leads to action. My passion around hazing prevention comes from two places. First, it comes from the fact that I almost did not join a fraternity because I was afraid of being hazed myself. Fortunately, a new group was starting on campus, and they said from the very beginning hazing wasn't going to be part of what they were doing, and I bought in. I can't even imagine how different my life would be if that had not happened to me, and hazing almost stopped my career from happening. My second source of personal passion on this issue is one that motivates me to action today. It comes from the fact that I am an adopted parent. I adopted my son Isaiah when he was 8 years old. Today Isaiah is a productive, hell-raising 12-year-old. He does well in school, he has a lot of friends, although he has not expressed much interest in girls at this point, or boys, we're not sure which way that wind's blowing. He's completely obsessed with lacrosse and robots. Those are his two obsessions, and our Christmas list is very full of robots and lacrosse items. He's a good-looking kid, he's funny, he's well-mannered, he's very social. I anticipate that some very trying years are ahead of me as he enters high school, full of curfew violations, parties, and excuses for rebellious behavior. But what I have nightmares about is my son entering the fraternity recruitment pool in about 7 years. He has seen my fraternity involvement, and he spends a lot of time around the college men I advise at Colorado State University. So I'm pretty sure he's going to go to some campus looking to join a fraternity right away. I'm betting that some fraternity, hopefully mine, will recruit him aggressively. If he continues with lacrosse, who knows, he might join a club to do that. I don't know. But back to my nightmare. See, what you and those lacrosse players or those fraternity men rushing my son someday don't know is that Isaiah had a pretty scary childhood before he came to us. He was desperately neglected by his drug-abusing birth parents. He usually didn't have enough food. He didn't know how to brush his teeth until he was 7 years old. No one made sure he got to school on a regular basis. He saw his mother being beaten physically by his birth father. He watched his birth father sexually abuse his younger sister right in front of him. In fact, the only way my son avoided being beaten himself was by projecting a perfect little boy image. To this day, my son has a very difficult time admitting when he's done something wrong. This is the one issue that we know we're going to have to work on for the rest of his life, is getting him to step up and be okay with taking blame. You see, for my son Isaiah, being wrong meant being beaten as a young child. My son is terribly afraid of being wrong, and as much as we offer him unconditional love and acceptance, it's very hard to reverse that hidden harm. I catch my son in an act red-handed, and he will still try to find a way to explain away the blame for his action. So imagine, you will, my son joining the fraternity in 7 years. He at this point, hopefully, is a well-adjusted young man, has dealt with his childhood trauma as best he can. He was popular in high school, probably too popular for my taste. He has benefited from years of structure and parents who love and encourage him very much. But he joins that fraternity or lacrosse team where new members are subjected to new member rights. Maybe the older members try to break down my son by putting him in humiliating situations or lineups, asking him questions he doesn't know the answer to. Maybe they yell in his face, telling him he is wrong and unworthy of membership. They make him feel worthless. Now, of course, there's no way that the 20-year-old yelling in my son's face can possibly anticipate the damage he's doing. In his mind, he's having some innocent fun at a new member's expense. He's doing what's been done to dozens of other new members who came along before my son. Does he intend to trigger a damaging psychological episode for Isaiah? Probably not. Does he mean to effectively undo years of love and effort to help my son rebuild his confidence and well-being with one stupid pledge activity? Probably not. Does he mean to cause Isaiah a frightening flashback to his abusive birth father? Probably not. Do the older members of the lacrosse team mean for my son to drink a deadly amount of liquor so he can avoid feeling wrong or not right, or at least not right for them? Probably not. Could it happen? Absolutely. Here's the thing. I don't think that 20-year-old yelling in my son's face means to do him harm. He doesn't know. How could he know? Certainly my son isn't going to write an essay about his early childhood abuse on his rush application. My son, like everyone else's son, will be most concerned about being accepted by the group. Neither young man is thinking about the hidden harm that lies beneath the surface. Neither young man is going to anticipate the depression or the nightmares or the self-damaging behavior that stupid night of hazing might trigger. Neither young man will think about that, but maybe you're in a position to warn them about it. Perhaps today you will adopt a new strategy for hazing prevention that will someday save my son's life. I want to take my potential nightmare and turn it into a discussion right now, here today.
Alright guys, I just want to end our hazing talk with that. I feel like it's something to think about to end on. Hazing is absolutely a very serious subject. I know we like to joke here about different forms of hazing, but it is a very serious subject. Here, of course, along with myself, you can contact. These are other places you can look into. Anti-hazing hotline, Kevin Ponce, who most of you met last week, the Office of Residential Education, the Dean's Office, and hazingprevention.org. Feel free to go to any of those if you have to, if you feel the need to. But on a lighter note, this upcoming week is a huge week for recruitment. This Monday, NCAA championship game. All the houses are going to be open. I know you heard it last week. Some of them said it, some of them didn't. They're all going to be open. I encourage you to go out there, meet new people, get a feel for other fraternities that maybe you haven't before. And also, for some other things coming up, Charles Cole here is going to talk to you about.
Let's go, guys. So if you remember from last week, I'm the Vice President External of IFC. So what I deal with is I do a lot of programming, I do a lot of advertisements for IFC. And I'm here to talk to you about two big events that we're having in the next couple weeks here. So first is Go Green Fest. Next Friday from 5 to 8 in the back parking lot behind Lambda and KDR, we're having our first ever DJ battle among the fraternities. So what it's going to be is all the DJs from each fraternity are going to get together. They're going to battle it out. They're going to have their best mixes there. And we're going to hopefully have a reigning DJ amongst the fraternities. This is free to anyone who wants to attend. There's going to be free food. There's going to be inflatable obstacle courses, games. The first 500 people who come will get a free water bottle courtesy of IFC. So tell your friends. We're hoping it's going to be a really good event. This is the first time we're ever doing anything like this, so spread the word. We hope that you guys come and support us. Also, not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, we're having an event called Wingfest. So down in Larison Dining Hall, also from 5 to 8, all the fraternities are going to get together. The chefs are going to cook their best wings, and you guys are going to be able to purchase tickets, come, eat those wings, and you'll get to vote on which fraternity you think has the best wings there. Also, in addition to the fraternities, the downtown businesses like Lewisburg Hotel, Town Tavern, Vic's Pub, Damon's, places like that, they're going to have wings there as well, and you'll be able to judge theirs. So both of these events should be really good. Please tell your friends. Please, I hope you come support us. If you have any questions, you can contact me or Spencer. And I do think that's it for tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, Charles. Also, all the fraternities are going to have a table at Go Greek Fest, so please stop by, get to know everyone. That is it for tonight, guys. Thanks for coming in. In-network has a schedule. See you all next week.